If you think that a moment can't change someone's entire life, then don't miss this story. Because today, a homeless boy made the most powerful man on Wall Street cry. The silent boy in the glass world. It was a cold but bright morning in New York. The sky was blue, but in the financial district in the heart of the city, there was a strange hardness in the air. The glass skyscrapers were bouncing back the sunlight as if wealth were more powerful than the sun itself. There were rows of expensive cars on the streets, people in suits were walking quickly with coffee in their hands, and every face was lost in some purpose. In this crowd, a boy stood. His name was Leon Parker. About 12 years old, thin, with a burden on his shoulders, and a tired look in his eyes as if he had seen many times more life than his age. His hair was disheveled, his face was covered in dirt, and he was wearing a blue jacket that had probably once belonged to someone else. His shoes were worn, and in his right hand he was clutching an old, scratched card. This card was his last hope. Leon took a deep breath and pushed open the magnificent glass doors of Emerald Financial Bank and stepped inside. As the doors closed, the world inside seemed to fall silent for a moment. Marble floors, high ceilings, modern art on the walls, and glitter everywhere. This was not a place for kids like Leon. People stopped to stare. Some in surprise. Some in disgust. And some as if the boy were a stain on their perfect world. Leon's heart was beating fast, but he didn't stop. He took a step toward the counter. Leon's story didn't begin with bravery. This story began with hunger. He hadn't eaten properly for the past 3 days. His mother, Emma Parker, was a nurse who had died in an accident 2 years earlier. His father was already gone. Leon had always been quiet while he was at the orphanage, but when the funds ran out, he disappeared into the crowd. His mother had said only one thing before she died. Leon, never lose this card. It might save you one day. Leon didn't know what was on the card. But today, he had to know. The woman at the bank counter, Sophia Reynolds, stopped for a moment when she saw Leon. Surprise and sympathy appeared on her face. "Son, how can I help you?" Leon's voice was trembling. "I just want to check the balance." He held out the card. A few people in the room began to whisper. "A homeless boy? In this bank?" Sophia took the card, but the system was not giving access to old accounts. She thought for a moment, then looked towards the interior of the bank. There sat Richard Kane. The king of Wall Street. Billionaire. The most powerful man in Emerald Bank. Sophia said softly, "Come on, son, let's go this way." Richard Kane was laughing. Consultants were sitting around him, graphs were running on screens, and decisions were being made that would affect thousands of lives. Then her eyes fell on Leon. For a moment, a mocking smile crossed his face. "What is this?" he said softly. "A joke?" Leon was silent. He simply held out the card. Richard took the card, laughing, as if it were all a spectacle. He inserted the card into the system. And then, the atmosphere in the room changed. Richard's smile disappeared. His eyes were fixed on the screen. His advisors leaned forward. The number on the screen. It seemed impossible. The account was not empty. It was not insignificant. It was unbelievable. The account had been opened by Dr. Henry Wallace, a quiet, wealthy economist who had been cared for by Emma Parker in the last days of his life. Emma had never asked for anything from him, only respect and humanity. Henry, in return, created a trust in Leon's name. A trust that grew over time. Investments, interest, everything automated. And today, that trust was in front of Leon. Richard Kane was silent for the first time. He who controlled the world, today stood helpless in front of a child. He rose from his chair and looked at Leon. There was no longer pride in that look. There was respect. Sophia leaned down and slowly explained everything to Leon. Tears welled up in Leon's eyes. He didn't want to be rich. He just didn't want to be alone. That day, everyone in the bank learned a lesson. Clothes don't tell a person's worth. Silence is not weakness. And miracles often come to the most tired hands. When Levin left the bank in the evening, the sun was setting. In his hand was the same old card. But in his heart, a new world. If this story touched your heart, then like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness Narratives R. Backhand index pointing down. Tell me in the comments. If a miracle suddenly happened in your life, what would be the first thing you would change?